Hey, hey, hey. You know what day it is. It's Tuesday Tea with D. 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 Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Hey boo, hey, it's your girl Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and iSpeaklife mentor, here with another dose and another serving of Tuesday Tea with D. I don't know about you, but I am extremely excited, extremely full, because this week's episode is brought to you by 21 Days of Prayer. And so, if you have not been joining us for 21 Days of Prayer, listen, you literally have, as of today, because we start tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so depending upon when you are watching this, today is January 17th, 2023. And so if you're listening to this in like 2024 or something, child, you missed it. But prayerfully, you're joining us for 21 Days of Prayer in 2024. But at any rate, it has been so amazing. Like, your girl is tired because she's been up way past her bedtime for the past 17 days, 16 days, but it has been worth it. God has been showing up in such an amazing way that, like, I can't even really, I can't describe it in the time that we have together. Like, I would have to take up all the Tuesday Tea with D time, and I'm not going to do that to y'all. I'm going to stick to the script of today's conversation, but I really just want to take some time. If you are watching this, and you can join us over the next 5 days, I believe that there still is a message for you. The theme is full throttle, stop stalling. And so I believe that every single day, the speakers who are lined up from Tuesday all the way through to Saturday will have a specific word specifically for you. And so I want to encourage you to register. There's a link around here in this video somewhere, probably down in the description. Click the link, register, so that you can get the daily email reminders, and also so that you can get the reflection and prayer journal that I created. And then also just so you can be in community, right? And you can join us live every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can get access to watching the replays. The replays are up for 48 hours. Some of them I've been keeping up a little bit longer. We have over 300 women registered for 21 Days of Prayer. And it has been amazing because they've been watching the replays. Some of them join us live, but all of them will tell you that it has been worth the sacrifice to watch these videos, to listen to these speakers, and hear God speak directly to them. Okay, so join us for 21 Days of Prayer. You have until today, until Saturday, honey. And then if you miss it, you will have to join the inner circle to get access to it. And so I'll talk a little bit about the inner circle at the end of today's Tuesday Tea with D. But y'all know what I'm about to do. Child tasted this earlier today. Whoo, before we started. This right here, honey, is good. This is my pomegranate loose tea. I have my little tea ball, right? You see that? Oh, this is so good. Okay, I'm gonna stop acting like y'all not here. Because, honey, that tea is so good. It's good. And I haven't had it in a while, because I bought a lot of them. So I've just, depending upon how I'm feeling, I have me a favorite tea. So at any rate, let's jump into today's conversation called Do You Trust Yourself? And I will say that this actually was sparked by a statement that God spoke to me literally last night during our prophetic soaking after the speaker finished sharing and praying, and we were kind of just sitting in the presence of the Lord. And I felt prompted to have the women sit in that space because I could tell that God wanted, it was like they were ripe for God to speak to them right in that moment. And one of the things that God said to me was basically that you're ready. Trust yourself. He said, I know that you trust me, but I need you to trust you too. And so I actually had something else that I wanted to share with y'all today, But I really felt like I needed to share that, because if you're like me, you trust God. Like, you trust God no matter what. You trust God to show up. You trust God to handle it. You trust God even when, you don't have the answers. You trust God when it doesn't make sense. But in those moments, you don't always trust yourself, which is why you lean into trusting Him. And so, in this new season, in this full throttle season, in this stop stalling season, in this get out of your own way season, in this getting unstuck season, in this showing up big and bold and boisterous season, you've got to trust yourself. And so, my question to you is, do you trust yourself? Like, do you trust yourself to follow through? Do you trust yourself to do what it is that God has called you to do? Do you trust yourself to be able to pull out and pull through and pull off, right? That might be the better term that I want to use, to pull off what you know you have been assigned to do. And sometimes we're not sure, if I can be honest. Sometimes it really is us stalling the process. Really not because we're not capable. Not even because we're not willing. Like, we're willing, we just don't trust ourselves enough. It's kind of like, Lord, I don't want to mess it up, right? Like, God ain't gonna mess it up, but for you, honey, you like, I messed this whole thing up, then I'll be mad, right? But can you trust yourself enough to trust God to trust you? I'll say that again. Can you trust yourself enough to trust God to trust you? Meaning that if God trusts you with it, if God has placed it in your hand, if God has given you the vision, if God has given you the dream, if God has told you to write the book, if God has given you the family, if God, whatever it is that God has placed in your hand, right, to have dominion and rule and reign over, can you trust yourself to follow through? Do you trust yourself? And that's a personal question. I'd love for you, when this is over, to get your journal. And at the top, y'all know your coach, right? I'm going to give you some journal prompts. I'm going to give you some homework. But I would love for you to answer that question. Do I trust myself? I trust God, but do I trust myself? Right? And then, why don't I trust myself? Right? And here's another one. If I trust myself, then why haven't I taken action? Because you know how we do. We're like, yeah, I trust myself like I can, but you haven't taken action. There's no execution. There's no follow through. There's no consistency. Why? Because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to do exactly what it is that God, is telling you to do. Right? You think you're going to drop the ball. You think you're going to mess up. You think you're going to disappoint Him. You think you're not going to do it as well as He thinks you can do it. That's a mindset shift that needs to happen. And in the same way that He reminded me last night during that prophetic soaking, I want to remind you to trust yourself. I want to tell you to trust yourself. I want to encourage you and affirm you to trust yourself. Trust yourself in this season. Trust yourself in this new year. Trust yourself with this new project, even with the old project, right? It might not be anything old, anything new, right? We're in a new year, but the assignment is still the same. The project is still the same. The book is still the same, right? All the things, it's still the same. The question is, do you trust yourself to follow through? And here's the other thing that came to me is there some things that and some mindset blockages that I've been working through around, like, accomplishing a thing and then trusting myself to do it again, right? And so on Sunday we sang a song, Do It Again, right? You can do it again. And I thought about that today, not as it relates to God, but as it relates to ourselves, that sometimes we don't trust ourselves to do it again. It's like, man, I did it once, but I don't know that I can repeat it. I don't know that I can duplicate it. I don't know that I can get the same success, right? I wrote one book, but can I write another book? I wrote 2 books, but can I write 4? I wrote 4 books, but can I write 8, right? But I want you to think about what happens if you shift your perspective to trusting yourself enough because you know God trusts you with it. Right? We're not talking about people. We are talking about the sovereign, supreme God of the universe, the one who created the universe, who spoke this universe into existence, who spoke words, who spoke a thing, it became, and said it was good. This is the God that we serve. This is the God who is saying, trust yourself. You can do it again. Don't overthink it. Follow my lead. Follow the Holy Spirit's guidance. You can do this again. Trust yourself. Or you can do it a first time. Like some of you, like you're in a space where this is the first time that you are launching out and doing something that you've never done before, and you don't know that you can trust yourself. You don't know that you're not sure, right? You've been leaning on him because with you know it's good with him. But then when you add your little stuff to it, put your little pinky toe in it, you like, I don't want to mess it up. So let me just tell you, you're not going to mess it up. You're not going to mess it up. You will make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect the first time, but let me just tell you that you're graced for this. Let me just tell you that God's grace is on you for this. Let me just tell you that you have his favor. Let me just tell you that, you have his permission. You have his confirmation. You have his affirmation. You have his validation. You have his anointing, right? He has anointed you for this. And so based around all of that, when I ask you, do you trust yourself? I want you to get to the point where the answer is yes, because that's where I am. If God trusts me, well, then I trust me. If God trusts me, I can do it. If God trusts me, I can carry it out. If God trusts me, then I know all is well. If God trusts me, honey, listen, if God trusts me, child, I don't care if you don't trust me. Because guess what? His affirmation, his validation, his permission is all I need. And so that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to share that with you because he shared it with me. And there are some things that I know that I am going to be doing this year and in the future moving forward, right? Not just in 2023, but just in general. And I understand that I not only have to trust him, but I have to trust myself to be able to do it, but then do it again if necessary, and again, that I can replicate my success, that I can create even new and better opportunities in what I'm creating and what I'm doing, and even for the women who I'm called to, and some of the men and leaders, right? So I want to encourage you. I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to do the journal prompts, right? Do you trust yourself? And if you don't trust yourself, why, right? And then what does it look like for you to trust yourself? What does that look like? What does it look like for you to trust yourself? I mean, fully trust yourself because God fully trusts you to carry it out. Okay. So with that being said, child, I'm going to take a sip of this tea because listen, I got some work to do too. Oh goodness, this tea is so good. You ever get excited about something that just tastes so good? A food, like a dessert, a drink, like something you tasted, child, and it's good. Like this right here, I had just right amount of lemon, right amount of honey. Oh goodness, it's good. So again, let me just hold on. Whew. So with that being said, take some time this week. Ponder this question. Answer the question. Sit with it. Sit with God. Listen to what he would say to you about this space that you're in and around and it really ask, I say, God, what have you trusted me with that I have not trusted myself with? And listen. And you might not get an immediate answer, but over time it'll be revealed. It may not be like an audible voice, but you might see like, ooh, your thought will come to you and it's like, oh God, that book, that project, that ministry, the business, a part of the business, expanding the business, making more money in the business, more clients, right? Just kind of ponder, sit with it, and be honest. Listen, we're in the first month of the year, and so you have time. Remember, I think last week or the week before that, we talked about your pace, your race. So we're not in a rush here because when God is in it, child, when he touches it and blows on it, child, listen, I am a witness that all you got to do is show up and when you do your part and he'll do his part. And I promise when the time comes for him to blow on it, it will be massive. Right. But do the initial work, right? Because it may not start off being massive, but you got to start somewhere. Right. And that's the way that you build trust with yourself. Like, man, okay, I did this. So if I did it before, I can do it again. And if God is telling me he trusts me with this, then that's all I need. Let me move forward. Let me take that next best step. All right. So again, if you have not been joining us for 21 days of prayer, I want to invite you to join us for 21 days of prayer. If you've missed any of the replays, I want to invite you to join us in the Inner Circle, which many of you know is my membership and mentorship community of faith for Christian women. And it really is about equipping you to take your next best step in life, business, and ministry. It's $470 for the year, $470 for the year, or it's $47 for the month. There's monthly training, monthly accountability and goal setting. There's a private community that we have. I have guest experts come in. We also do pop-up Q&As. And so it really just is an opportunity for you to take the next best step to dig a little bit deeper in trusting yourself, right? To do the thing that you know you're supposed to be doing in this season, right? And so I want to invite you to the Inner Circle, because not only will you get access to the replays for 21 days of prayer, but you'll also get access to over really like almost 3 years worth of monthly trainings. And then also just the community that we have, the accountability, and just, the connection. The connection is like it's priceless. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just want to take some time to say thank you for joining me for Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting and sharing this video and watching this video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment below, make sure you share this. Because I really believe that these videos are God-breathed, and I believe that they help you get out of your own way so that you can stop settling, and show up in the same way that you show up for others, right? I believe that God wants us to stop settling, so much so that he sent 21 days of prayer so that we can go full throttle and stop stalling. So I'll see you next time. I'll see you next week for Tuesday Tea with D. Take care.